Hello guys, my name is Ausra and welcome to my podcast Thinking in Sound. And today it's episode number 14 and I will talk about how do you mentally manage three staves at once. Well, this question came into my consideration and I thought it would be nice to share some thoughts with you on this topic. Well, in this question I could answer with another question, how, for example, a conductor manages even more staves. Because if you would think about open score of a choir music, most of the times it has 4 staves or even 5. But think about like symphonic orchestra and how many staves are there in that score, in the orchestral score, for the conductor, because it has all those symphonic instruments written in, and often choir might be added, or other soloists, either voices or instruments. So, but of course, if you are a conductor, you probably don't have to follow each of that line, at any given moment. But what about organists? How basically how we do it, and is it difficult or not? Well, at the beginning it's quite unusual, but because my background was, I was also taking, choir conducting lessons for many years before I started, to study organ at the Academy of Music. So I was sort of used to the open score, so it might be a little bit easier. I heard that people who came from the piano background, just from the piano background, did not have any experience in conducting choirs and reading open score. They struggled more. But also I think that no. At some point while learning the music, you basically know 1 or even 2 staves better than the third one. And then during actual performance, you may stay focused only on one of the staves of most of the time. Another thing and mistake, what I think that, people think that you can read all 3 staves at once. It's like, playing polyphonic music and listening to all the voices at the same time, like, polyphonically, like single line, to hear the single line, and at the same time, let's say, to hear 3 different single lines. I think it's impossible. It's just how our brain jumps from one stave to another, how fast it can do it. And the same with reading music from the 3 staves. Well, okay, I'll give you a few other tips how to do it easier, but now I sip water from our Secret of Organ mug. Secret of Organ playing mug. Okay, so my advice would be, if you are new at the organ console and you have trouble reading 3 staves at the same time, so just work on the single voice, on a single stave at the same time. Don't try to put all the 3 staves together at once. It won't be easy and you will get frustrated and results won't be good. So just learn the single line, let's say the treble clef, stave first, then bass clef, left hand, and then pedals. And then you need to work in voice combination, so play right hand and pedals. and then left-handed pedals, then maybe both hands together. And only when try to put things together. And if you are working, let's say, on a piece which is 1 page long, then it's okay. You can do that what I just said and to play that piece from beginning to end, entire page. But if it's a longer piece, then maybe just practice 1 page or 2 pages at a time. Because if you are working in combinations and you are playing the piece from the beginning to end, it might take for you forever. You might not have so much time, so much practice time. So just, divide your piece into smaller segments and work on those. And if you will learn these combinations, then I guarantee you that it won't be for you so hard to put them together, even if you are working on such a complex piece texture as, for example, trio. This is the way how you practice trios. Even some professionals actually does that, and it's a really good way, and I guarantee that the results will be good if you will follow these steps and don't try to put everything together. But with experience, with time, it will be easier and easier. And now I would say that for me, it's harder to play from 2 staves if it's the piece written with a pedal, and you have basically to play the bass line on the pedal board, but it does not have its own line, its own stave. For me, it's easier to play from the 3 staves. So I guess it's just a question of experience and on time. So it will all come to you, and just be patient. And playing organ, well, it requires time. And even ChatGPT won't be able for you to help and to shorten that process of learning. Like, for instance, in other subjects where you just ask question and ChatGPT generates you answer, and you don't have to think, and you won't have to put any actual work or thoughts about the subject. So, but the more you put into it, the more satisfaction you will get back from it, and the results will really surprise you. So, okay, guys, stay tuned, and please send me your questions, or send me your thoughts about what I talked about. I always appreciate your feedback, and I'll see you next time in my next episode. Bye bye.